Do you spend too much money on houseplants only for them to die a few months later? So that has definitely happened to me too many times to count. But what's incredible is that all of the plants that you see here we got for free. Usually we started out with a little cutting that someone gave us, a family member, a colleague. Some of them I picked up at work, or my husband picked them up at work. And we brought them home and planted them, and we've managed to keep them alive for several years. So these are all very hardy plants. And again, I have no expertise, no specialty knowledge about plants. In fact, I really do not have a green thumb. I'm better at killing plants normally than I am at keeping them alive. But everything you see here on the table, I just scrounged around the house to pull it together. I didn't buy anything special for this video. In fact, all of these pots and pans and little bits and bobs were just things that we had lying around the house. Of course, we maybe bought the potting soil at some point in some of these pots as well. But if you are like us, you probably have some of these odds and ends lying around the house as well. And if you're interested in learning how to propagate some of these houseplants so that you also have your own endless supply, then stay tuned. I'm Susie, I'm American, and I've lived in France for over 15 years now. On this channel, I usually talk about life and investing in France. And this topic is tangentially related because we're talking about how not to spend money, how to save money on your houseplants, and how to decorate your house for nothing, really. So let's start with the avocado plant that you see here. Here is the after, obviously. But all you need to do to get started is eat an avocado and keep the seed. And then you put a few toothpicks into the seed to suspend the avocado over some water. And you just let the avocado seed hang out in the water until some little roots start to grow. And after the roots have grown, then you can go ahead and you can plant your avocado seed, and eventually you'll have a nice little baby avocado tree like this. This is probably over a year old. I don't remember how long we've had it, but it usually lives over there by the windowsill. And we, as a family, we like to watch its progress, and we're so happy, we're so proud of this avocado. You don't need anything fancy like this. This is like a little bulb jar. You don't need anything like this, not necessary. You can just use this, for example, this was a yogurt jar that my kids ate their yogurt out of yesterday, and an avocado that we had at dinner last night. And now I have it filled to the brim with water, and I have the end of the avocado seed just resting in water there. And it might take a while, and you might start to get impatient. You might feel like nothing's happening. We had actually heard from someone that avocados that you bought at the supermarket wouldn't seed, but eventually it did. It just took a long time. So you just have to be patient. And there you go. Now you can see you'll have your own little baby avocado tree. Okay, next we have this pancake plant. I used Google Lens to try to find out if this was the real name of it. Apparently it's also called a Chinese money plant, and then of course it has its Latin name and probably other names as well. This was a baby that my husband's aunt gave to us, and it's doing quite well. It usually lives over there by that windowsill. And in fact, it just kind of propagates on its own. There's already a little baby here, and my husband sort of harvested this other little baby version the other day. And so I thought I would plant it right now. So I'm just going to fill up this little pot. Inside there's another little plastic pot. This is a pot that usually lives in my son's room. He calls it Georgie. And the plant that was in Georgie had gotten so out of control, I'll show you later, had gotten so big and out of control that I thought we needed to plant a new Georgie. I saved the other one, don't worry, it's still alive as well, but I just moved it to a different spot because Georgie had started taking over my son's room. So we're going to give my son a new Georgie today. So this is just the baby pancake plant that's been living in this egg cup for the past couple weeks. And I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to plant it here in a little bit of potting soil. And I have no idea what I'm doing. This might not work, but we shall see. My son will enjoy watching it and watering it and seeing if it starts to grow. And again, it's just an experiment, it's just for fun. This is a Hoya plant that is just a tiny cutting that I snipped off a much larger plant at work. And it's been living in this shot glass on the windowsill for months. So you can see that it has a lot of roots now. And today is the big day. We're finally going to plant it. This is very exciting. So here we go. We'll untangle it from another experiment my husband has going on in there. And here it is. And I'm just going to make some space for the roots here in this little pot. And I'm going to push these down, shove these down into the soil here. cover them back up. Push them down gently with my fingers. Again, not sure I'm doing this right, but we shall see. Again, the stakes are very low. There we go. I'm gonna fill up my little pot here with a little more soil. It's a little bit dry, so I'm gonna add some more water. And there we go. Maybe put it back on the windowsill and see how it does in its new home. Do you know this plant? Apparently it's called Mother of Thousands, according to Google Lens. And normally this one lives over there on the windowsill next to our baby avocado. And it's so funny because it just, you can see, I don't know if you can see here, it just reproduces on its own just by virtue of living close to the avocado. Little baby ones have started to grow in the avocado pot. So this one is fascinating. These, actually the little tips here that you see, these are the baby plants. And so all that you have to do is just sort of gently remove them with your fingers, and they come off just like that. Sometimes you can even see little sort of what look to be little roots already coming off of them. Oh, there's one. I'm not sure if you can see it. So you just take some of these babies in your hand, and they'll just sort of really easily just fall off. Actually, they're kind of falling off all over the place. I saw one over here on the counter a minute ago. And you'll just kind of take a few in your hand. Once you get a fair amount, I don't know how many I have, maybe 20. And then you just sort of, I filled this pot with some potting soil, and I kind of put a little water just to make it a little bit damp. And you just kind of sprinkle them on top. And that's literally all it takes. They'll find a way to plant themselves. It's incredible. So look, this little root is sticking up. I'm just going to push it down with my finger just to make sure it's in contact with the soil. I don't see any of the other roots, but oh, there's another little one. But I'm just going to push it down into the soil a little bit. Just seems logical to me to make sure that it's in good contact with the soil. And we'll just see. And we'll track the progress and see how they do, these little babies, and see if they take root. This is an aloe vera. It's a descendant from an aloe vera cutting that a colleague gave me many, many years ago. The original cutting grew into a big, strong, healthy aloe vera plant that we then left outside one winter, and it died, unfortunately. But luckily we had some cuttings of its babies, and so the descendants continue on in various places around the house as well. And then this is a purple heart plant that I originally got a cutting from at work many, many years ago, and you'll see this in other places around our house too. And this elephant ear plant was originally a cutting that my mother-in-law gave us. And this poor plant lives in my office most of the time, and thankfully it's my husband that looks after this one because I often forget to water it. So this plant has been very stoic and has survived, unfortunately, my neglect. I apologize. I'm sorry, elephant ear plant. I'm glad you're still alive. Okay, next, check out this pothos that my husband got as a cutting from work originally that we're basically using to decorate the entire stairwell. It goes all the way up, and I'll take you up there to show you where it originates. As we walk up the stairs, you may notice we have a few other plants here. These two that we bought and have kept alive, and another offshoot of the original purple heart plant as well. If I turn around, you can see the pothos in all its glory. And if we keep going up the stairs, you'll see where it originates. It's actually in 3 separate pots, one of which I just added because this one is the original Georgie. And you can see Georgie had really started to get out of control and take over my son's bedroom, so that's why I added him to the collection. Here's another plant, but this one was a gift from a friend, so I guess it doesn't count as a free plant that we grew ourselves. One last stop in the upstairs bathroom to check out one more purple heart that's suspended here, which I think looks great. It gets a lot of sun, so it's perfect from the skylight. And a papyrus that my mother-in-law gave us from a cutting as well, that's doing quite well. You have to water it a lot, and I think it needs some help to stand up straight. It might be supported there by the ceiling a little bit, but it's still doing quite well after several years of living here in the bathroom. Okay, so if this seems fun to you, you should try as well. You can experiment next time you're at a friend's house, for example. If you see a house plant that you think looks cool, you can ask them for a little cutting and you can take it home and you can put it in a little shot glass and keep your eye on it and see if it starts to sprout some roots. And if it does, then you can go ahead and plant it and you'll have a new house plant for yourself for free. I think this is just so fun. This is something that we do also for our outdoor plants. And if you're interested, let me know in the comments below and I can take you on a little tour of our free outdoor plants that we've accumulated over the years as well. Oftentimes when we buy outdoor plants from the garden shop, unfortunately they don't survive, probably because we don't take good care of them. But the plants that we have outdoors that do seem to survive are very low maintenance and some of them have been cuttings that friends or family have given us as well. So let me know if you're interested in that. It's fun. In France, it's sort of part of the culture. I feel like people are always exchanging plants and summer veggies, for example, from people's gardens and stuff like that. So right now it's the summer veggie season. So people will come to your house for dinner and bring some zucchinis or tomatoes from their garden. In fact, we just gave my husband's cousin some of those baby mother of thousands little babies last night. So it's definitely something that we do quite regularly. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for today and for this video here in my 10-year-old IKEA kitchen. If you're interested, I do have another video that's a complete tour of my kitchen, so you can check that out here. And I hope you'll join me again in the future for another video that's more or less related to money and investing and life in France. Thank you so much for watching, and à bientôt!